Und wir starten mit dem erfolgreichsten Spieler aus dem deutschsprachigen Raum in der Geschichte dieser Sportart. Er ist die aktuelle Nummer 9 der Welt. Er hat einen Major-Titel holen können 2017 beim Sieg der Champions League of Darts und steht inzwischen bei 3 European Tour Erfolgen. Aus Wien, the Gentle, Suljovic! Ladies and Gentlemen, jetzt wartet der Titelverteidiger. Er ist die aktuelle Nummer 1 der Welt, der aktuelle Premier League Champion, der aktuelle Weltmeister, MVG, Mighty Mike, Michael van Gerwen! Auch im Achtelfinale gilt die Distanz Best of 11 Legs. 6 Legs braucht man, um in das Viertelfinale einzuziehen. Und auch den Caller wollen wir herzlich willkommen heißen in diesem ersten Match. You were!
Hello and welcome to Mannheim, the Maimarkthalle here in Germany for the European Darts Matchplay. It's the final day of action and another European Tour event, the 11th of 13 this year. And today we've got 16 men vying for the title and a number of matchups that are repeats of things we've seen recently and quite spectacular things we've seen recently as well. Dave Chisnell and Ricky Evans meet at this stage of a tournament on the Euro Tour for the second time in a week. Gerwen Price and Glenn Durrant face off. We saw them contest a Euro Tour Classic that featured a perfect 9-dart leg from the Iceman earlier on this year. Adrian Lewis and Krzysztof Ratajski, wasn't that long ago they were contesting a Pro Tour final, a very lively one at that, as the Polish Eagle won the title that day. But we start with Michael van Gerwen and Mensur Suljovic, a repeat of the final in Austria just 7 days ago when Mensur Suljovic won what he called the biggest title of his career.
First leg, Mensur to throw first. Game on.
Mensur Suljovic looking to beat MVG for the second time in a week. All that, we've got to repeat the World Matchplay semi-final between Gurney and Cross, that incredible comeback. But what a tie in the third round of the European Darts Matchplay. It's the top player in the world, Michael van Gerwen, the top player from Austria, Mensur Suljovic. It is a man who barely makes the top 400,000 in his hometown. Chris Murphy alongside me, Dan Dawson, in the commentary box.
Thank you, Dan, for that splendid introduction. We have 6 winners on the European Tour this year, and 5 of them are in action this afternoon. 2 of them on the stage right now. Mensur Suljovic with that
96.
Fabulous fairy tale win, really, for him in Vienna last weekend, ending a run of a couple of years without a victory over Michael van Gerwen. Now will he be able to do what not many people do, which is double up beat him again. Daryl Gurney did had a little bit of a spell against MVG, didn't he? And Suljovic might be getting MVG under his spell early on here.
Yes, another player that springs to mind is Glenn Durrant, who's beaten MVG on both times he's played him, including at the World Matchplay. Now, there is a possibility of a Michael van Gerwen Glenn Durrant final here today, but with so many seeded players coming through yesterday, 14 of the 16 seeded players winning, so many big names in action. Mensur down for the 17s. Oof. Well, it would have been some going to these two perfect visits, but I tell you what, it's not a bad second date, is it?
Yeah, 162. Setting up the 143 attempts.
Mensur required 24.
Van Gerwen still a long way behind, but you don't want to give him a chance at anything.
Game shot in the first leg.
13-dart start for Mensur Suljovic. Now, MVG did take what looked like a decisive lead in that final a week ago in Austria. 6-3 up, but was beaten 8-7, missed a dart for the title at the bullseye in that last leg decider. He averaged 99 to Mensur's 93. Mensur got the job done. And for the first time that I can remember
60.
anyway, Mensur Suljovic saying, you know what? I think I might be good enough to be a world champion, you know.
Well, he'd just beaten the world champion at the time and the world number one. Who gives us a glimpse as to why he holds that status with his first maximum of the match. Just noticed in the first leg that Michael van Gerwen was fiddling with his equipment a little bit on a couple of occasions. I think whatever
60.
it was, a loose flight or stem perhaps, has been corrected now.
95.
You will see Mensur Suljovic, as always, go over to the drinks table and get chalked up. Tricky customer, because he's very good on the board.
140. Mike
Plays at a very
92.
different kind of rhythm to anyone else. Van Gerwen looking to rescue this shot,
Game
and
shot
does.
the second leg. Michael van Gerwen.
Well, dart
Mensur
response
to
from
first.
MVG.
Game
Good
off.
start to this contest. Yeah, Mensur, the interesting thing about Mensur is he seems to play at various different rhythms, and it doesn't seem to bother him, does it? We saw against Kim Huybrechts, he seemed to slow the game down quite a lot.
180.
Here, he's perhaps not as ponderous as he was.
98.
It's probably an indication that he's just full of confidence, taking on MVG. We have seen him win against him on the European Tour prior to last week's final. He actually defied an average in the 110s from Michael van Gerwen. That was
60.
a fair few years ago now in Sindelfingen, I believe, the European Darts Grand Prix.
Back in 2015, Van Gerwen averaged 111.37, but went down 6-4 to Suljovic, who himself posted an average of 109.
111, there we go. I believe it was that same weekend somebody lost with 113.
$60.
That's the 60 for Mensur. In a game with two players in the top 10 who have been winning titles of late.
93.
Visits of 60 are opportunities to strike. Michael Smith scored excellently, outscored Van Gerwen in their second round contest. An unbelievable second round game, bearing in mind it's a European World Championship final. But his finishing was not up to scratch. Van Gerwen punished him, won it 6-2.
Lovely stuff from Suljovic there, using the bullseye. Had he just found the answer, but he'd still been on 2-darter.
134.
And Gerwen this time breathing down his neck. Perhaps why. I Suljovic, I thought he was stepping back just to concentrate, but it's because he's just getting the score corrected. 61 would have been an easier out, so credit to Suljovic for pointing that out. Gets a dart at double top and pins it dead centre.
And he needs one dart. 61-71. It makes no odds to Mensur.
96.
No Peter Wright here today. He was one of only two seeded players to go out. No Germans involved today after Gabriel Clemens, amongst others, were beaten yesterday. So Mensur Suljovic, he could end up with a lion's share of the support from this pretty healthy-sized German crowd here at the Markthalle.
58.
The best of order so far, isn't it? I must say, at the start of this session.
And yesterday afternoon session, it was a bit more raucous than this, wasn't it?
140.
Maybe it's the same lot and they're just having a bit of recovery time.
Bit of a long weekend. Mensur averaging about 100. Van Gerwen, a good 7-8 points on top of that. Nobody's missed a dart at double as yet, and MVG's average is going up.
Well, there has been a perfect visit in every leg of this match. A 180 apiece, a 171 there from MVG, a 162 earlier on from Mensur Suljovic.
Yeah, and it's all come from the guy who's thrown first, which obviously makes it a heck of a lot easier to hold your throw.
Yeah,
that's what's been happening.
We look at doubles here. No. Plays it.
86.
Safe, because he's got breathing space. The reason that Van Gerwen's average is so much higher is because he was a lot closer to Mensur Suljovic when he went out in the previous leg than Mensur is to Michael now.
140. Michael require 8.
Double 4.
Game shot the
Two
fourth
is
leg.
pinned by
Michael Van
MVG.
Gerwen. Fifth leg, Mensur to throw first.
The
Game
excellent
on.
standard continues, but Van Gerwen will know from his own semi-final victory last week in Austria that throwing first can be the
140.
difference between victory and defeat, because Peter Wright had a far higher average than Van Gerwen in that semi-final in Austria.
140.
Van Gerwen threw first and held his throw 7 times and won it 7-6. Now, having already lost on the European Tour, admittedly a few years ago, to Mensur with 111 average, he knows he's got to get a break of throw somewhere.
See, there he is, creeping towards the 100 teens once again, Michael Van Gerwen. Certainly the highest
96.
standard match, with both players producing the goods so far, although it is early on. Averages over a short distance can fluctuate.
But you also know that these two can live at these sort of numbers. I mean, Mensur Suljovic, in his match play run, for example, last year, I mean, the final, he was averaging around about 100, and it was 40-odd legs as Michael Van Gerwen puts in his second 171, and he puts a real truckload of pressure on Mensur.
Yeah, this time the perfect visit comes against the darts. And Van Gerwen had
91.
a dart to take out 94 in the last leg. If he doesn't hit the treble this time, I think he will go for doubles here. And he's found that one.
74.
Just brushes the wire. Suljovic let off.
But crucially, Mensur did leave himself on a double. Setup shot was good.
Game shot the fifth leg.
Double 10 is there.
Mensur
Mensur clinging on to his throw this time, and Van Gerwen is pushed back once more.
93.
Van Gerwen won this title for the last 2 years in Hamburg. He won it in its first iteration in Innsbruck in Austria. The only other winner of this particular title, the European Darts Matchplay, is James Wade.
60.
He's in action against Wayne Jones later. Wade winning in 2016.
Yeah, yet to pick up a Euro title this year, Wade. He has won
60.
3 on the floor.
Yes. This is the first time this tournament has been held here in Mannheim, but we have played here before. The German Darts Grand Prix a couple of years ago was held
43.
Here. And again, that was won by Michael Van Gerwen. Beat Rob Cross in the final. So, all the guys who've made
99.
the final of either this event or in this venue, they're all still in the running. Dave Chisnell, 2-time finalist. Mensur Suljovic, finalist in Hamburg a couple of years ago. Willie O'Connor, finalist here this event last year
44.
in Hamburg. And then Michael Van Gerwen, James Wade and Rob Cross. They're all in the hunt.
It was only the very last match of yesterday evening that prevented us having all of this year's Euro Tour winners in the final day of action here in Mannheim, when Joe Cullen defeated Jamie Hughes, the winner in the first Czech Darts Open, of course. And having the big names, the players that have won the titles and therefore near the top of the European Tour Order of Merit is good for the players that are worrying about the places at the bottom of it for the European Championship.
Double 18.
120.
Well, can't take out the big combination finish, but once again, Van Gerwen knows he will return.
It's nice to have a match like we don't really need to think about permutations because you know this pair are going to be in everything.
Yes.
Pressure!
180. Michael, you require 36. Game on the 6th leg. Michael Van Gerwen.
I think we're supposed to say what pressure or something like that, aren't we?
Double 18 did that for us. 3-3. Both men averaging well over a ton. Mentor's just dipped below there, sorry, big control.
96.
Van Gerwen dominant in the scoring. Missed that
134.
one dart to take the advantage. But there you see Suljovic almost perfect the doubles, and the time that he did miss was dart at top, so he went down to double 10 in the same visit and took it out anyway.
60.
Yeah, well, 6 or 7 points in the average, that's pretty much a dart per leg. And it can
100.
be decisive, but it's not always decisive. It was 6 or 7 points difference in the average when Michael Van Gerwen was beaten by Suljovic last week in the final.
54.
As MVG says so often himself, it's about hitting the right shots at the right moments.
Yeah, it was just a shade under a ton for MVG in that decider. Suljovic
100.
93.
I'll tell you what, Mensur Suljovic once again doesn't help his first 9 average, but my word, he's piled in a great visit to give himself a chance. And Van Gerwen can't take the 167.
102. Mensur require 111.
Treble 17 leaves double top. And Mensur does offer up an opportunity
51.
for Michael Van Gerwen, the chant for the world #1 to strike.
Yeah, he knows this is the chance, and he's given himself 2 bites. Double 10. Van Gerwen takes the chance, hits the front, takes control.
8th leg, Michael to throw first. Game on.
Well, he gave it the big licks after taking out that finish, and the first dart was dragged into the 1, and all of a sudden, after putting himself in pole position for the first time, he's pulled over in a lay-by and let Suljovic speed past.
Mensur Suljovic piles in a 4th maximum.
100.
Could he produce another? Oh,
That's still been a perfect visit in every leg of this match, including the 3 treble 18s from Suljovic in leg 1.
yeah.
Doing this leg,
180.
but it only gets Van Gerwen down to parity in the leg, and Suljovic is still bossing it.
Oh, look at this Mensur.
150.
Oh, well, he's gone into the treble 10, not the treble 15, but that's not the end of the world, because does he go single 3?
But he hasn't used double 14 as
require
frequently
31.
this year, but he's used it when he needs to. He's go-to. And he's gone to it.
Three.
And it's let him down.
Michael,
The old faithful has
89.
failed him.
It won him the title last week. Might lose him this game. Double 16. The
Game
chance
on the
is
8th
ripped
leg.
away
Michael
from
Gerwen.
Mensur Suljovic, and Michael Van Gerwen celebrates.
Game on.
He is one leg away from victory, but he was 1 leg away from victory just a week ago, and Mensur denied him the title.
100.
Still just one breaker throw needed for the gentle.
100.
Needs to hold his throw first.
Well, Van Gerwen, there was one turbocharged performance last week when he annihilated Ricky Evans in 8.5 minutes at 106 average. He's threatening to post similar numbers, but he's been pushed here. And I think this is an even more impressive display if he can get the job done, because Mensur Suljovic has really posed some questions of Michael Van Gerwen. And he's just about found the answers. But there may be more questions to answer.
170.
Oh, 170 from Mensur. Perfect scoring visits all over the place in this game.
140. Mensur requires 91.
Cannot afford a mistake here. Hasn't made one with the first darts. Nor the second. Super stuff from Suljovic.
Stranded on a 2-dart checkout for the match, Michael Van Gerwen.
58.
And does not find a treble, and Mensur Suljovic. The opportunity is there. What a game of darts this is! Oh.
125.
They have had some fantastic games of darts this year. We know the final last weekend, but they had that brilliant bout at the European Darts Open as well in the semi-final, which Van Gerwen won by a couple of legs, 7-5, and hit a 9-darter. The one where he used the bullseye in the middle of the final combination.
Oh, look at this.
140.
Mensur Suljovic, best player in the world. Looks like Van Gerwen might run away with it. He's still averaging 107, 46. And Mensur, he's standing up to him. And he might be the favourite to win this game right now.
It does have a very, very similar feel to the final last weekend.
100.
Van Gerwen was right on the brink. Suljovic has battled back. He's gone toe-to-toe with the world number
98. Mensur require 136.
What has he done there? Michael Van Gerwen has bamboozled himself. He doesn't really make counting errors. The world number 1 is having 60. All kinds of problems because the Austrian number 1 has pressured him.
Still may need to take out this 76 to stay alive. I would suggest he will need to take out this 76 to stay alive.
Oh, and he's missed it. He's missed it, and Michael Van Gerwen might well get away with it. And he does. The world number 1 gains revenge for defeating the final last week. But look at his face. He knows Mensur Suljovic had him for a moment there. Michael Van Gerwen was rattled. He made a counting error in that last leg, and he was let off the hook by the gentle Mighty Mike, looking to win this particular title for a 4th time on the Euro Tour, an average of more than 105, but may walk off stage feeling a little bit fortunate. It'll be Adrian Lewis or Christoph Ratajski for him next. Those two in action in a moment here at the European Darts Matchplay.
Zwei Situationen, die so ein Match entscheiden, mal ein Doppel nicht mitnehmen und schon ist der andere da. Applaus für Mensur. Schön, dass hier in Mannheim mit dabei war. And congratulations. There was the revenge from last week, huh?
I had to play well. Mensur is in great form. He's a phenomenal player, and I got a lot of respect for him. But this was my turn again.
The intensity in the Battle 11 match, when the quality is there, is amazing. You know, every mistake could decide the match.
Yeah, he made one mistake. He missed 31, 3 double 14, his favorite double. And you need to take advantage of that, and I'm really glad I did. I didn't make a lot of mistakes. I had a tough first side of the draw. First Michael Smith, then Mensur. So I'm ready to go far in the tournament now, and I feel good. I hope I can show some more damage later on in this tournament, and I hope I can entertain the crowd as well.
Yeah. I'm actually pretty surprised You didn't say anything to the football match, Netherlands against Germany. What's going on?
No. The only thing I said after Holland won, I said, oh, I'm so glad I'm not going to sing now. Yeah, because normally, yeah, I know the Germans did so much more in football than us. But, yeah, I'm really glad we won now because, yeah, at least one song is out of the head now.
See you later. Thank you very much. Michael van Gerwen. Also, hat noch einiges vor heute. Will den Titel verteidigen. Der Mann reist an, Turniere zu gewinnen und nichts anderes zu tun. Und hat ihm noch gesagt,